Hello, everyone. My name is Ginny Brown, and just a quick disclaimer, I'm actually recovering from sinus surgery, so sorry that I sound kind of nasally. I apologize, but anywho, moving forward. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about my individualized project-based learning, my iPBL project, which is focusing on navigating through life's challenges, the importance of remembering to give grace at all stages of life. A quick overview, I'm going to be discussing an introduction, my self-development, my other development for reflections, what all I've learned, theoretical insights and how they relate to both of those projects, my reflective strategies, and hopefully you guys will get some takeaways from that. A quick conclusion, summing up everything about this project and everything I've learned, and I'm going to include my references using the text that we went over. Introduction. So the purpose for my iPBL project is to share ideas, my theoretical research through, of course, everything that I've read, all the research articles in class, all the assignments, and then, of course, my own research, some strategies, tools, and advice. And hopefully, again, you will learn something from my own personal experiences, and hopefully you'll be able to use that in your professional development as well, or your own personal experiences for everything that I'm going to discuss, and insights to how, for my self-development, I focused on lifestyle changes, how to improve my own health, because I feel like if I don't come first as far as my health and mental health, then how can I assist others? I'm also focusing on my other development, which is the fourth one, because my father is 80 years old, so he falls into the late adulthood parent, which some days can be quite challenging. My goal is to provide takeaways for navigating challenges while, of course, again, showing a little grace throughout all stages of life's experiences. One of my favorite quotes is, "Grace is the compass that guides us through life's transitions." As we all get older, that is definitely a quote that you all need to remember. My favorite movie of all time is Forrest Gump. Of course, the famous saying is, Mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. This is so true, especially as I age throughout life and now dealing with, again, an older father. And of course, I'm middle-aged myself, which I'll go over in just a few minutes. But just seeing the transition of being middle-aged, having now adult children of my own, my stepkids, and I'm a grandparent and also been married for 20 years. So transitioning is truly like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. All right, so my self-development project is what I focused on: lifestyle change and weight loss insights. One thing I really like is this quote here: time for change. It's up to you which direction you choose. I feel like life is always about choices. And even as a teacher, I focus on special ed, third and fourth and fifth grade at this time, I always tell my students, you have a choice. Let's make this a great one, or if you choose another one, that's up to you. However, always try to remain positive. So that's what I've definitely tried to do in between both projects. And again, give yourself grace at all times. So with my particular self-development project, I focused on these two particular theories I thought it linked best to. Bandura's self-efficacy theory, which is highlighting my individual confidence and regulation of myself. Intention. So I have intentions, and of course you have actions. Intention is a desire to make the change. Do you really want to do it? And why? Those are the main questions I was really delving into on this project. And then versus, of course, the actions. What sustained behavior change can I make, or did I make, in order to improve myself? This, of course, is reflecting self-regulation. It deals with my motivation and, of course, my perceived control. Control with food, with working out, all of the things. And, of course, mental health at the same time. with stress as it relates to my own personal life and work. The other theory, which I focused on, was Erikson's psychosocial theory, emphasizing the generativity versus stagnation. So, of course, I am falling into the middle adulthood age of 46, so I'm in that age range. And of course, I identify with a desire to nurture, guide future generations, avoiding that stagnation of feeling like hopelessness, not wanting to move on, not wanting to change, just being stagnant in life. That is something I certainly do not want to do. So that is something else that I focused on for my project. Again, I fall into Generation X. I am born in 1979, so I'm on the tail end of Generation X. But again, I'm very proud to be part of that category. I am, unfortunately, of course, in that same age group of perimenopausal women. So, yay, getting older. We all go through it. It's part of life. We got to move on. All right. So, for this particular psychosocial theory, he's mainly emphasizing needing to prioritize self-care and wanting to, again, be the best you can be in order to assist the future generations, whether it be my students or my own family, my own grandchildren, and of course, my own husband, everything, and my parents. For my other developmental project, 4, I focused on my father. He falls into the late adulthood category, and I mainly focused on autonomy and independence. He is 80 years old. He is a baby boomer. He falls into that cohort. He actually was born in 1946, so he's going to be not technically 80 yet, but he says he is. But he will be turning 80 in January. So that's where he falls in. And he aligns with the old category according to our textbook. So he's identifying with living independently at his current house and often experiencing physical impairments, chronic diseases. He actually has several shoulders, both knees have been operated on. So he has pretty much like chronic arthritis. He actually has diabetes too, so he does have to watch his sugar intake. But other than that, he's pretty much healthy. He's very, very active. Even at his age, he is using a cane now when he walks long distances. But other than that, he's pretty much fitting into these categories of Erikson's psychosocial theory again, integrity versus despair, which identifying meaning in life by accepting both one's achievements and disappointments, which of course then leads to integrity and acceptance of those, basically his life issues. So at his age, he constantly mentions to his friends, hey, I'm very proud of what I have accomplished. I have 2 children. Of course, I have a brother as well. He is older. He works in Atlanta. And I'm a teacher in Bowden, Georgia. And my dad actually lives 1 mile down the road, so I can keep an eye on him. And again, with Erikson, he feels the need that, even in an older baby boomer category, the old category, the generativity is continued to assisting others. He likes to volunteer at church. He likes to hang out with his grandchildren whenever possible. And of course, this theory encourages taking care of others, which at this point, he was taking care of my mother who passed away a few years ago. So at this point, he's taking care of himself and his dog. But if he had some more friends, he would probably be taking care of them as well. But he does keep in contact with them. He'll go visit some every now and then. All right, the other theory I had related to this was Havochurst and Lemon and his friends' activity theory. So with this, it's emphasizing autonomy in late adulthood through staying active. In our text, it mentions that you will have greater life satisfaction as long as you're remaining socially, mentally, and physically active. So I 100% agree with that. You want to remain active throughout life. Otherwise, your body will start breaking down. Of course, as you're older, those muscles start deteriorating. the skeletal starts calcifying, and as long as you remain active, those will hopefully decrease the likelihood of you needing support with more like a cane or a wheelchair. It's emphasizing the importance of maintaining skills, ability to feel effective, and that you're important, basically, in order to ensure your own autonomy and independence. I was focusing on his ability in this project of staying active in the yard and doing housework. So I wanted to make sure that he could remain active as long as I put in, a couple of bumpers as far as if he needed something. At this point, I will just hire somebody, where previously, like a couple of months ago, I wouldn't necessarily think that, but at this point, he's willing to get some acceptance for that stuff to assist with some help. All right, moving on. So some theoretical insights. So I talked about knowledge of Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. For generativity versus stagnation, this actually applies to both of my projects, because with, again, self-development, I wanted to make sure that I lost weight to basically to help myself remain mentally and physically active. I knew I had gained some weight, so I'm trying to figure out ways through using various apps that I found on my Apple Watch, checking my steps, logging my food intake, my caloric intake, and making sure that I am working out 3 to 5 days a week at the gym to keep that heart rate up in order to lose some weight. And again, I want to hopefully make it to 80 like my dad. So in order to do that, I need to make sure that I am taking care of myself mentally, making sure that my stress is in check, and that I am taking care of myself and eating healthy. In addition to that, my husband also wanted to join me, so he's my accountability partner, which also helps with that. So we are not stagnant. We're going to continue to motivate each other and encourage others along with our own journeys. For other development, of course, again, my dad also wants to remain active. He is not a stagnant person. He does not like to just sit down at all, pretty much. If he can, he wants to be active pretty much all the day while the sun's up. All right, again, integrity versus despair. He wants to have integrity. My dad wants to make sure that he doesn't become like, dependent on somebody else. He wants that autonomy. He wants that independence. He doesn't want to, yes, he's getting older. Yes, he understands that. And he's accepting now assistance when he needs like yard work or what have you. So I'm glad for that. Another theoretical insight is knowledge of Bander's self-efficacy theory. And this was mainly for my self-development. Using, again, self-regulation, I was keeping up with what I was eating. I was using the apps as much as possible. I was motivating myself, giving myself goals, along with my husband also helping me, encouraging me to reach those goals. And then, of course, control had to do with the amount of food that I've been consuming, the amount of exercise that I've been doing as well. And again, that's really helped with stress. And then for my other development, knowledge of Hurst and Lemon, and staying active, promoting autonomy, competency, being relatedness as far as like being there for your friends, your family, and independence. So, of course, this theory can also relate to, maybe promoting autonomy, but down the road, it could eventually turn into, needing to be in like a nursing home. So we're doing everything we can with Dad, and he's definitely wanting to not go into a nursing home anytime soon. That's why he likes to stay so active. So I think these theoretical insights definitely were great, as they both applied to my 2 projects. My reflective strategies for my self-development: exercise, food management with apps, partner accountability, setting my goals, journaling, like macros, the amount of fats that I was eating. Stress tension relief, definitely improved. My blood pressure has gone down. And long-term behavioral changes. So when I finish with my schooling, I would like to, of course, increase my workouts, focus even more on like a stricter diet, and possibly become a personal trainer down the road. For my other developmental project, again, we're stressing on allowing autonomy and independence as much as possible, always showing my father and elders respect and grace, because again, he helped raise me, so now I guess I'm in a way helping raise him in his last few years. I'm working on being patient. Lord help me, because I am my father's daughter, so he and I both are working on that. Using safety measures, making sure that if I can get him things like off of Amazon to help him like reach items or even kind of yard work items that'll reduce the workload, that's what I try to do. And those are great alternatives. Conclusion. This is one thing I would like as for you guys to take away from this. Always remember to have patience and give grace as you navigate throughout all life stages. There's going to be those hard days. There's going to be days that you want to reach that goal and you're figuring out, oh no, I've gained a few pounds. Again, consistency, giving yourself grace. It'll eventually work out. Your experiences and actions may inspire others. Your mental and physical health must come first to be productive. You've got to take care of you. You're number one. And to assist others in your life personally and professionally. Just like as a teacher, if I'm not on my game, if I'm not there, how are my students going to grow? A lot of my students I know enjoy coming to school just to chat with us every day. Whatever can bring joy in your life will be projected onto whatever you're doing with your family in professional ways. All right, one thing I would like for you all to think about, in what ways do you think you can improve yourself and your attitude towards others? How can you show yourself grace and show grace to others? Here are my references. Thank you so much for viewing my project, and I hope you enjoyed it.